Hey, everybody. We're going to paint today. We're going to put some paint on the Richard Petty Dodge Dart. Come on back. We'll get started.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
All right. Welcome back. We are going to, as I said in the first video, intro video to this build on the Richard Petty Dodge Dart late model Sportsman. We're going to be airbrushing the body color onto the body, the hood, the trunk deck, the firewall. And I wanted to do this on camera because, and first of all, let me say right off the bat, this is not going to be a short video. You just cannot do a tutorial on airbrushing, especially when it comes to craft acrylic, I don't think, because there are a few little intricacies that have to be talked about and in order to teach someone the right way to do it. There's been a lot of people ask me about what is the best way to do it, and of course we've gone, we've kind of beat this horse to death. There's a ton of airbrush videos out there on craft acrylics. I've done some myself, as you know. There's been, Chris Cortell, Classic Plastic 101. I think when you mention craft acrylics and airbrushing craft acrylics and using craft acrylics, I think his name probably comes up in your mind first. If you're a regular YouTube community member. So there are things that have to be covered as far as mix ratios and this, that, and the other now. And I've experimented with 2 or 3 different ones, but I wanted to do this one because I've been playing around with this probably for close to a year to get it exactly to where I can repeat this process every single time pretty much and get the same results. So we're going to do it with the Paasche, the Paasche Vision, which is a double action airbrush. One of my favorite airbrushes, probably one of the best airbrushes I've ever picked up, and I've been airbrushing for about 35 years. So it is extremely forgiving. It is well put together. It is a tough airbrush. It is to me, it's a gorgeous airbrush. I don't buy airbrushes for their looks. Craft acrylic dries about a half shade darker than what is in the bottle. In other words, whatever it is that you see in the bottle is usually about a half shade darker. And right straight out of the bottle, as far as trying to nail down Petty Blue, this is pretty close. I tested it, fortunately, on like some scrap plastic and let it dry, and it dried just a little bit dark. So rather than go to mixing white paint or in with my craft acrylic, I just decided to utilize the white primer, which was quite a bit actually whiter than the kit plastic is. So that's another reason I did that. And then I used Styrene primer. Back here. This is probably, if you could use this under hot lacquer, I would never use any other primer at all. This is probably one of the best primers I have ever used. You can use it under Tester's lacquer. You can use it under the Tester's enamel lacquer thinner mix that you've seen me use before. I've used it just to try it out, and it works. It does not react to cold lacquer. It doesn't seem to anyway. Lacquer thinner rather. The hobby lacquers it seems to do okay with. I have not used it under Duplicolor, nor have I used it under House of Color, Gravity Color, Zero Paints, those that are kind of on the old automotive paint line, I don't know. I'm not sure. I doubt if it would hold up, under those. You can, get it and try it, on some scrap plastic and judge for yourself. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and let me go ahead and get started as far as mixing up our paint right quick before we go to the paint booth, since we're here under the light, because I wanted you to see. Now, my thinner that I'm using is a homemade mix, and I mix it up in this, and basically what it is it's about almost a half a bottle of windshield washer fluid, almost a half a bottle of distilled water, and then I take it to about right there. So like I said, this is certainly no accurate measurement that goes on when I mix this up. The rest of the way up is 91% alcohol, rubbing alcohol, and probably about 10 drops of glycerin, which is this stuff right here. And you can get this at any drugstore. You can get it, I think I got this at Walmart actually. And it serves as not only a retarder as far as drying, it is also a lubricant that you can use and it's what I use to lube my airbrushes with, the needles and the moving parts of my airbrushes. It does very well, holds up well, and what this does, it just kind of helps retard the drying process a little bit of acrylics. As you know, acrylics dry up extremely quickly when they are especially in the airbrush, because they're having air blown across them, and so that kind of helps with that, with all that. So we'll go ahead and get our mix made up now. I'm gonna try to not squeeze this too hard so you can kind of see the ratio. Quite naturally, it's gonna mix, but we're gonna go with that. And I'm just from my experience, I think that's going to be a little bit. I was going to say, I think that may be a little bit on the thin side, but it doesn't look to be. You will learn as you use craft acrylic to just be patient with it. It can be finicky. It can drive you nuts. But there is now. To me, it's as easy as pouring regular acrylic out of Vallejo or Tester or any of the other acrylics out there, or the lacquers or anything else. I've gotten used to it. I know exactly what to expect from it. So it just takes time. You can't expect to get it in one or two paint sessions. It's just one of those things you have to play around with. All right. Let's go over to the paint booth and let's get ready to paint. Now, as I said, here is what we're going to be using. This is the Paasche Vision with a 0.66 millimeter. If you will notice, we have gone to the, let me back up. We have gone to the fan cap, and I don't know if you can see that. You can kind of see how the needle sticks out almost at the end of the prong. So there you see why I do not keep that out on the brush when I've got it just sitting on its stand and what have you. So all right, now we're going to be using working at about 30 pounds of working air pressure, line pressure. Now what that means is that when I push down, I get 30 pounds on my gauge. So I have my air compressor set on the gauge at 32 pounds. I get about a 2-pound drop off from what's in the on the gauge, as opposed to what comes out of the nozzle. So all right, I'm gonna load up. I'm gonna cut the air compressor. I mean the paint booth on. So here we go. All right, we're going to test our Test our needle. You probably can't see it on the, there you can maybe. We're going to open up about halfway. Just make nice even strokes. The fan cap throws out a nice wide even pattern. I like to get underneath all the areas that you overlook a lot of times on the bottom. Let me back up a little bit more. That's just up way up too close. There we go. All right. Alright, we're gonna let that sit. Some of the body pieces, and I'll have to stop periodically and fill up the cup. One thing about this 0.6 millimeter needle and nozzle setup is it does use the paint. I don't know if you can see, there is a little overspray with it, not a lot. But, and this light is not the best for this, and we will get a better look at it when we stop at the end of the video we'll take a look at it. But I don't know if you can tell, you can see how quickly you can cover. I mean, just that fast, we've already gotten sort of a base coat down. Now, you see the spray is very fine. It's almost a mist, which is what you want. You're just basically with this fan cap, you are putting on constant mist coats and shots of mist on the object that you're painting, and that's why I love this fan cap so much. All right. Let's load it up again on paint. While you were gone, I also shot the hood, the trunk deck, firewall with another round of paint, so we can get to concentrate mainly on the body. So let's go for this will probably be our third coat, probably be our last. So let's knock it out. I'm standing up, so that's why I'm a little bit higher up with the airbrush than I would be if I were sitting, but I want to be able to see kind of what you're seeing. Alright, as I said, just nice even strokes. Using this method with this fan cap, fantastic way to get your craft acrylic on evenly. You don't have to, and we'll take a look at it at the back over at the workbench when we get through. And I apologize, I know this is a very long video, but I wanted you to see exactly what I was talking about when, and now, I don't know if I said anything or not, but I'm about that far away, about 4 inches or so. Any further out, you start to get pebbling. Any closer in, you'll stripe. You're not careful. This covers, I don't know if you can tell it, you probably won't be able to see you can see the spray there. That covers the whole body, plus it kind of eliminates the danger of any pebbling or giving you that rough surface that you encounter sometimes. Now, super easy, super forgiving, much quicker than, this video is very long, but I spent maybe 10 minutes painting. The rest of the time it's been running my big mouth and pausing the videos and first one thing and another. So, like I said, you can go directionally with the paint spray pattern to get across the top here if you've missed any areas. Like say up underneath here to some of the harder to reach areas. This is also a great method to use for the enamel lacquer thinner mix. I actually prefer the direct spray nozzle for that particular paint style or paint method. I get a better result, but this is as close to using the Paasche H. All right, we are done, and it went well. I hope you enjoyed that. I like the way it laid down. The paint laid down smooth and with no grit, no pebbling, just a really, really super smooth finish to the paint. Now, the light here over my workbench is not conducive for accurately depicting color, so it's a little bit lighter in the video here than on camera than it is in real life. Let me move over just a hair. So it's actually pretty close to color, and I apologize for the angle you guys had for most of during most of the painting. I'm using my tablet and I can't really see without moving back and forth from behind the tablet to in front, and I don't have a lot of room. This paint booth's not very big, and it doesn't give me a lot of room as far as having the tablet sitting at the right spot and the right angle, and me still have room to maneuver the way I'd like to. But you get the gist of it, and I'll try to edit out spots where you can't really see anything. But at any rate, there it is. It came out really nice. I hope you got an idea kind of how the Paasche Vision works with the fan cap. It's a great airbrush. Like I said, a great all-in-one airbrush if you don't want to have 2 or 3 different airbrushes. Just take your time, be patient, don't rush it, don't sweat, exact measurements. I don't do nearly as much craft acrylic spraying as I did probably a year or 2 ago, but it's still, I like to do it every once in a while, especially in the wintertime when I have little animals running around here, and it's still, even though I have a paint booth and I have a mask, to wear with the lacquers and like the Dupa colors and the House of Colors and that kind of thing, and it still manages to get out into the house, and not good for for those who have asthma and lung issues and pets and that kind of thing. So in the wintertime, I do try to use craft acrylic when I can, especially on racing cars and bodies, that kind of thing. It's not imperative that you have a shiny finish. I mean, it's nice to have it, but realistically, from if you're building from the 50s, 60s, 70s, hey, race cars didn't have mile deep paint jobs on them. You know, they were shiny, or they shined, but they weren't 3 feet deep. They didn't have, you know, the paint jobs on them that street rods have. So I don't sweat the details when it comes to the race cars and you know, the funny cars, the drag cars, and all that. So anyway, there's where we're at. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be doing some airbrush reviews and coming up, and we'll be talking about this Paasche Vision probably down the road some, and some of my other airbrushes and what I used them for, and all that. So, all right, I hope you enjoyed it. Until I talk to you again, take care of one another. May God bless you and your family. Have a happy new year, everybody. Don't take any crap from anyone. See you soon.
Well, I was rolling down the road in some cold blue steel. I had a blues man on the back.